Alright, so the next objective that we're going to be looking at is our objectives 46 and 47, which talks about adding and subtracting polynomials. This is going to be an extension of one of the first objectives that we practiced this school year, combining like terms. So adding polynomials. In order to add polynomials, all you have to do is combine like terms. So as a reminder, like terms have the same variable and the same exponent. A reminder, when we add like terms, when we combine like terms, the base of the exponent does not change. So that base does not change. We'll see a few examples of this when we practice. So looking at this first one, we've got these two polynomials and we're adding them together. We combine like terms, so we look for terms that have the same variable and the same exponent. I always like to start with the highest exponent, and then I add as the exponent decreases. So looking at this, the highest exponent we see is a squared. So we add each of these, 5a squared and 5a squared gives us 10a squared. Again, the base does not change. Plus, the next one down, we have a to the 1. So we have, use a different color, we have 2a to the 1 and negative 4a to the 1. So 2 plus negative 4 is negative 2. And last but not least, we have a to the 0, or just no a. Negative 2 and positive 4 gives us a positive 2. That's our constant. Looking over here, the highest exponent that we have is c cubed, or c to the third. So that first term we have 4c cubed and 11c cubed gives us 15c cubed. Next up, we can add up our c squared. So we have a negative 2c squared and a negative 8c squared gives us a negative 10c squared, or minus 10c squared. Next, we have 8c and 3c gives us 11c. And then we've got this plus 19, this constant at the end. There's nothing to combine it with, so we can just tack it on at the end. That's adding polynomials. We can also subtract polynomials. The only difference is we want to distribute the negative to the second polynomial. Then we add them just like we did above. Then we add the polynomials like we did above by combining like terms. Remember, the base, the variable, and the exponents do not change. So let's write a note. Remember, the base, the variable, and the exponent do not change. All right, let's practice. Again, we Now we're subtracting two polynomials. We've got this polynomial minus this polynomial. So the first thing that we do is we distribute the negative. So we distribute the negative to each term. And anytime you distribute a negative, it just flips the sign for each term. So a positive 8t becomes a negative 8t. A negative 7t becomes a positive 7t. And a positive 5t to the fourth becomes a negative 5t to the fourth. When we distribute the negative, we can now add these polynomials. So we switch this to adding, and we distribute our negative. We flip the sign for every single term inside the parentheses. So again, we add just like we did above. I always like to start with the highest exponent. So we've got a negative 5t and a positive 8t gives us a positive 3t to the fourth. Next up, we have a 5t squared and a negative 8t squared gives us a negative 3t squared. Again, the base, the variable, and the exponent do not change. Then we've got a negative 2t and a positive 7t gives us a positive 5t. And that's it. We've combined all of the like terms. For this next one, the first thing we do is we distribute the negative. We turn this into a positive, a plus, and then we distribute the negative. So it flips all the signs. So this negative becomes positive, this negative becomes positive, this positive becomes negative. Now we look at the terms. The highest exponent, we've got 8z cubed. Well, there's nothing to combine that with, so we just leave it as 8z cubed. Next, we look at our z squareds. We have a positive 4z squared. There's nothing to combine that one with, so we have plus 4z squared. Then we look at just our z's, or z to the 1. We have positive 6 and positive 9 gives us a positive 15. And last but not least, we look at our constants. Negative 2 and a negative 4 gives us a negative 6. This is adding and subtracting polynomials, objectives 46 and 47.